3 p.m. on the dot. So I want to again thank you all very much for attending today's event. So we are here with our friends from Regent Seven Seas, Carol and Nicole, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves in just 1 second. For those that don't know me, I am Carlos Edery, and I'm the CEO of Luxury Cruise Connections. And with me on the Luxury Cruise Connection side, you guys are going to see a lot of my what I call my second family, my team members here at Luxury Cruise Connections. And they're here because a lot of you guys are their clients. A lot of you guys hopefully will become their clients if you aren't one yet. And you know, we want to of course have an opportunity to interact. Like I was telling Carol and Nicole just a second ago, I know many of you guys might have an existing Regent Seven Seas cruise planned. Many of you are thinking of planning a new one. Many of you guys have already been on Regent many times. So this, like today's conversation, because it's really much a conversation more than a presentation, right? But today's conversation is all about you know, letting you guys know what's up with Regent. So we will touch on some things that might, you know, you might already know about, like what is Regent and what Regent is all about. But we're also going to touch about what's new, what's coming. There's some cool stuff happening with Regent in the very near future. So it's a great opportunity for us to you know, let our friends from Regent share that information with us, and then at the end we're going to be able to ask some good questions. For those that have been in some of these events before, you guys know that I love a lot of interaction. The idea with this event is, you know, that's why we don't do it in a webinar format. We do it in a you know, Zoom format, so that we can all be very comfortable asking and unmuting and raising your hand and just interacting as much as you want, because that's the whole point, right? Everybody that is in this event, we all have some sort of a common interest. We're all like luxury cruising. We all either have luxury cruise, you know, have been on luxury cruises before, or want to try it. So, looking very much forward to, you know, to this opportunity. We love doing this sort of events with Regent because, you know, Regent is one of our favorite brands. It is one of the brands that we absolutely sell the most. And there's many reasons why that happened. One of those reasons is because they just do an incredible job, right? And obviously, you know, there's no such thing as perfection, even though we all try to be there. But they're definitely a partner that we know we can rely upon when things go great, which is most of the times. It's amazing, and when things go a little bit off, then we know we can count on them to help us make it right. And that's what a partnership is all about, and that's why this partnership that we have with Regent is so strong. I think that we're two companies that think very much alike. We align very much in terms of our core values, and that's why we do very well together. A couple of housekeeping items before we get started. That chat box that you guys see at the bottom of your screen, the little pop-up that you guys saw just a second ago, you can type your questions in there, and then at the end of the event, we're going to be asking and reading each one of those questions and answering each one of those questions. If for whatever reason there's something that we're talking about that you feel like it's worth interrupting for, please just unmute yourself and interrupt. We'll be happy to address those questions as we go, but we will try to allot enough time at the end. Also, because we want to know who's attending today's event, we are sending out a little poll, like a little pop-up that is going to come up on your screen in a few minutes, where we're going to ask questions such as, you know, have you been with Regent before, or have you done business with LCC before, or, you know, so forth and so on. For example, just like this one, have you sailed with Regent Seven Seas before? So we love to hear, just, you know, reply yes or no, and then we'll happily share the results once everybody's responded. That way, you know, we can all know who's in today's event. So far, for example, on that question, we got 45% of you have been, and 55% of you have not been on Regent Seven Seas before. So that's great. That's great. It's a great opportunity for us to share some good information with you. All right. So without any further ado, let me spotlight Carol Herron, 1 second. And let me spotlight Nicole. Nicole, where are you? Okay, so let me share these results in the meantime. So 4060 actually is the end result here. Look at that. And then let me spotlight myself as well. There you go. Perfect. So Carol, Nicole, talk to us. Can you please introduce yourself? Selves.
Nicole, you kick it off.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Castillo, and I'm thrilled to be with all of you today. I see some familiar names here joining us on today's call, some new names, but this is actually one of my favorite events to have with Luxury Cruise Connections. So I'm always thrilled when we get invited to collaborate and do these fireside chats, so to speak. So thank you so much for the opportunity. We have a wonderful partnership with all of you, and we're so thankful for it.
Thank you. And Carol?
Yes, hi, thanks for inviting me. And again, I echo what Nicole says, working with so many different accounts, there's certain people who just really touch your heart. And I will say a huge thank you for just always being so professional, always looking out for your guests, making sure you're on top of everything, the training, just all the energy that comes with this group of people. It's hard to replicate, and we're always happy when we get the opportunity to work with you guys. So thank you for inviting us, and thank you for being such amazing partners. We always love doing business together.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for that endorsement as well. We had just, some of you were here as we were getting started. We had some great endorsements from some of our clients that are part of this event today. And so thank you very much for that. But, also thank you for the partnership and really being the great partner that you guys are. It makes our job a little easier. Like I was saying before, we've gone through a crazy couple of years since the pandemic. The industry has just been trying to play catch up in terms of getting back to the glory of cruising, right? And getting back to these amazing experiences that we're all familiar with. But it's been a challenge. Let's not fool ourselves, right? It's been a definite challenge getting back to sourcing the right people, sourcing the right staff. Just playing catch up, right? All left, right, and center. But slowly but surely we've been seeing kind of the industry starting to get back to normal, and we're like I was saying, extremely happy to continuing to grow our partnership with you guys, because it's easy that way when that the delivery on board, our clients are going to come back happy and they're going to want to book again. So let's kind of get started a little bit with a couple of questions, and then we'll see where these questions take us. So I'm going to be sharing the screen every so often, but I'm going to try to make this as conversational as possible. But I want to start by asking you guys to share with me kind of a little bit of, for those that are not so familiar with Regent, a little bit of a brand overview. What's Regent all about?
Well, it's pretty easy because, working with you guys over the years, that a lot of times people hear the word luxury and they hear the word all-inclusive. And to kind of break it down for you guys today is our pleasure. We are truly luxury inclusive. So what does that mean? So we start with our 4 pillars, which really, if you're going to be in the luxury market, first and foremost, it's incredible, impeccable service, right? It starts with how you're treated on board. It's the staff that we have. As many of you know, the gratuities are all included. So you're not working with people who are like, dependent on tips. We pay our staff well up front. People want to come and work with Regent. Our guest to staff ratio is so low that you feel like, every time you turn around, you're kind of bumping into our staff that are falling over themselves to help you. So of course, that's first and foremost. You want to have that feeling of service in any luxury product, and we really do deliver on that promise. The second, and I think most important for so many people, is the Epicurean perfection. Let's face it, everyone loves great dining. And when you go on vacation, you want to indulge and you want to make sure that you're having those, once in a lifetime experiences, trying new things. And because everything's included, you just go ahead and try that thing that maybe you wouldn't have ordered in a regular restaurant because you're not sure if you're going to like it. So, having this amazing Epicurean experience on board at no additional charge for any of our specialty restaurants is just so nice. It just kind of gives you a little more sense of adventure around dining. And then, of course, it's the suites themselves. I don't care what anyone says, oh, it doesn't matter, you're not in your suite a lot. When you open that door and you see the well-appointed suites that we offer, you just really feel that luxury, from all of the fine furnishings to that walk-in closet, just to have the feeling of wow, So, we say it's unrivaled space at sea because we really want people to have that feeling of luxury all throughout the ship and also in your suite. Our suites range from, just under 300 square foot to, as Nicole mentioned, our Regent suite, which is over 4,000 square foot. And I always kid around, like, look behind her, she's going to show you. We really do have something for everyone, but that is kind of like the crown jewel in our fleet, our Regent suite. No other cruise line has something like that. And we'll get into the particulars on that. But then, of course, it's where you're going to go. The reason why people are cruising more and more is the ease of just getting on board and floating to the next city, the next port of call, without that schlepping your, self to the airport and checking in and all of that stuff. So, we currently offer over 500 different ports of call. So if you're thinking of, that bucket list destination, chances are it's, someplace that Regent sails.
Awesome. And obviously, I mean, there's a lot that is included on a typical Regent ship. Are there any other brand pillars, anything else that you want to elaborate more on? Is there anything else on that end that you want to share on?
Well, to just kind of stop on the Epicurean, because, who doesn't like great food and wine and all of that? We're really kind of shifting our focus this year to not only include these amazing, meals on board. And any of you who've been on board, the dining has always been spectacular, but taking it to that next level where you're going to have the opportunity to explore ashore in a culinary oriented way with our Epicurean perfection tours. So if you're really a foodie and you want to get out with our chefs and go to local markets, or you want to spend a few days prior on a food oriented tour, we've got more to offer than we ever have before. We have more spotlights on fine wine and culinary this year and going into the years to come, because we find that people just love it. And one of the examples, just between winemakers and chefs, we've kind of put together a bunch of different spotlights, but one that comes to mind that I think is going to be really exciting, because I think he's really cool, is we have a spotlight on culinary with Chef Tommaso, who owns this amazing restaurant in LA, and his best friend happens to be John Hurley. And then for those of you who might not be familiar, if I say Seinfeld, Mr. Peterman, that's who John Hurley is. He's also the voice of the dog show. If you're a dog lover like I am, he is the commentator of the Kennel Club, and he's also he's been on so many different things. You'll Google him and you'll be like, oh yeah, that guy. So he's an entertainer. He's best friends with the chef, and they kind of bring this amazing culinary experience on board. So, not only you're going to dine in these great restaurants, but you're going to talk food, you're going to talk about fine wine, and it really kind of brings people together. So, focusing on Epicurean is never a bad thing. And I think this year and the years to come, you're going to see a whole lot more exciting culinary, Epicurean adventures, if you will, on board Regent.
That's definitely, I think, a great strategy. I think that we can all agree that just cuisine and dining and just experiencing especially local flavors is a major reason why people travel nowadays, right? They don't just want to see that museum. They want to really, taste, local pasta or just have real good food as they travel, especially in the luxury travel sector. And so let's do a quick recap.
Carlos, could I just add something to the dining, if I may, for a few seconds? Regarding the dining, when we went, first of all the specialty restaurants are included, but also the other thing to let you know, when we went into the Italian restaurant, I grew up with Italians. My roommate was Italian. I've had lots of lasagnas. The best lasagna I've ever had in my life was on the Splendor, and the quality of the food is just amazing. But when I had that lasagna, considering that I grew up with Italians, my best friends were Italians, my roommate was Italian, it was just the ultimate. So I just wanted to let people know that, yes, the dining is amazing.
Well, thanks, Steve. And again, one of the nice parts about talking about what's included is that you're not going to pay extra, as Steve said, for all those specialty restaurants. So you can, go and experience our French cuisine, our steakhouse, Sette Mare, which is our Italian restaurant. As you said, that's where you're going to find that amazing lasagna. And of course, our Asian Pacific Rim restaurant, which is the most amazing sushi if you're a sushi person. We really also offer kind of like the best of both worlds in our Compass Rose, which is it's kind of like the specialty restaurant put together. You get to choose your protein, your pasta, your sides, and create kind of your own menu every single night. Plus, we have all different opportunities for you to try a dish from one of our specialty restaurants in our main dining. Open seating, you go when you want, you dine with whom you'd like. So Compass Rose is kind of like taking the best of all of our dining and putting it into our main dining restaurant.
Cool, thank you. So let's do a quick recap on inclusions. So you guys now today and they call it every luxury included. So let's go through it real quick. So business class, airfare, intercontinental flights included, right? If it's within the United States flight, that's economy, right? Unlimited shore excursions. I see some questions in the chat about excursions. We'll address that for sure toward the end. So by the way, those that are asking and making comments on the chat know that all of those questions and comments are going to be addressed, every single one of them at the end. So just feel free to keep putting in your questions, your comments there. So unlimited shore excursions, 2 or 3-night land programs on select voyages are also included. 1 pre-night cruise hotel in concierge suites and higher, unlimited beverages, including fine wines and spirits, open bar and lounges, plus in-suite mini bar, pre-pick gratuities, specialty restaurants like you were saying a second ago, transfers between airport and ship, unlimited Wi-Fi, valet laundry service. I mean, there is virtually.
Stop right there with the valet laundry service. Women need to hear that again, because the best part about the unlimited laundry is that you literally can come home with a suitcase full of clean clothes. And I did it on my last cruise. I'm like, let me see if they'll do this for me. They are just so happy to do it. And your clothes come back in tissue paper with little bows around them. You don't even want to touch them. It's so beautiful. But that inclusion kind of came out of COVID, where, we always had our self-serve laundry, but due to the limitations of how many people could be in a small space at a time, we decided to offer the, laundry included. We're doing laundry anyway on board, and now we include it for you as well. So I will say that is one of my favorite inclusions that we've ever come up with. And I know a lot of people have said to me, seriously, all of your laundry? And I say, yep, every single piece.
I never thought about how important that is.
Oh yeah. Carlos, because you probably don't do the laundry when you get home. Your wife does. That's why.
Oops.
Gotcha.
You gave yourself away on that one.
Let's
Really?
see now. My wife is going to be very happy. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. And there's new stuff happening with Regent. I know there's some recent itinerary lunches. Can we go over that real quick?
Sure, sure. Well, you know, our world cruise, we booked them pretty far in advance. So we just launched 2026 in March world cruise, which is 154 nights round trip from Miami. And I have to say, you know, I don't even know what I'm having for dinner tonight, and people are booking 2026, right? But they do sell out. So, you know, people do want to get those suites. The upper suites always go first. And then if we do have some space available, we'll open up the segments, usually probably around July or so. But, you know, those longer cruises, you know, really are popular. People want to get on and not have to come back and forth. So the idea of launching our grand voyages came out of the success of our world cruise, which are slightly, you know, less number of nights, but almost the same amenities. You know, we offer anywhere from 60 to 90 nights on our grand voyages. Primarily, we offer Europe, we offer, believe it or not, the Arctic. We are doing them at different times of the year as well. So if you're going on a world cruise, you're going to start in January, you know, end in May. Whereas when you're looking at these grand voyages, some of them start in July. So if you don't want to miss the winter in Florida, which is the best time to be here, you could do a July grand voyage. You could do an October grand voyage. And again, these are longer cruises that include everything plus, for example, medical on board, which I think, you know, if you're going to be away for that long, you want to make sure somebody's taking care of you, and that's included. We transfer your luggage for you, which, you know, if you're going to cruise that many nights, even though we're doing your laundry, you're going to want to bring a couple extra pairs of shoes. So, you know, having your luggage shipped to the port, you know, when you get on the ship is also important. And again, these are really destinations that are on everyone's bucket list. They really want to see all those ports of call. So Grand Voyages has just launched a couple of weeks ago, and then we'll continue with the remainder of 25 and into 26 starting on June 7th. And we take reservations, take pre-reservations, so you can let us know what you're interested in, and we'll put you on the list. And then when they open up, you will be able to confirm that reservation.
Hay segments abiertos en el
I'm
world
sorry,
cruise.
somebody's speaking.
Yes, Elizabeth, I think we were trying to ask is if there are segments in the world cruise open. They're going to open about around July. I think that was
Yes. Yeah, we'll be able to assess how many suites are, you know, still available, and usually around July is when we'll open those.
Okay. Can you give us a couple of examples of those grand voyages? Kind of, you know, a couple of destinations, a couple of highlights on those grand voyages?
Yeah, as I said, what I think is great is they're not always going to be round trip Miami. So there's a number of different itineraries. For example, you can do Barcelona to Sydney on the Navigator, and that's in October of 25. So that's an 84-night cruise. It's 4 different segments. And that one's called the Continental Sojourn. And the Indian Ocean is another itinerary, and that from Mauritius to Rome is also 4 segments, 64 nights in total. So that one will be on the Voyager. And then, of course, you're looking at the Arctic, which I think is very interesting, on July the 10th from New York to Barcelona. So my northern friends, you know, sometimes it's nice to just leave out of your backyard and do all of Europe and then, you know, fly home from Barcelona. That can be combined with, we either have an 83-night segment or 117-night segment, depending on how much Europe you want to see, and the Arctic. Then, of course, there is the Explorer doing Auckland to Tokyo, and that will be in January of 2026. So again, there's a number of different itineraries, and we can send you the links to all of the actual day by day. But what's nice is it's kind of like doing a world cruise, but not always having to go January and, you know, the world
Right,
cruise
right,
is so
right. And some
amazingly
people,
popular, sells out.
some people just can't take 100 and something days off. So, you know, you want to do a 60, an 80, a 90, then this is a great fit. I love it. You know,
Yeah.
it definitely, I can absolutely see the market. I mean, obviously, you know, sometimes people that have done world cruises have already traveled the world many times, and there are certain destinations that they might have already been there a couple of times. So this kind of allows it, you know, I haven't been in this part of the world, so let me do an 80-day itinerary, you know, that visits this part of the world that I haven't been to yet. So
Yeah, and the
um,
time, you know, as I said, living here in Florida, you don't want to miss the nice weather and the beginning of the year, but you sure as heck want to get out of here come July. So, so those are the itineraries that I think, you know, are appealing to a lot of people who do want to, you know, be away from the warm weather and over that period of time.
yeah, for sure. But there's some very exciting things happening this year, right? There's a new beautiful ship joining the fleet in 2023. Right?
Mhm.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, absolutely. We want to talk about it. First of all, you know, it's just so crazy how time flies, right? You know, we were launching the first in the Explorer series back in 16, which means like 2 years prior, we were talking about the Explorer, Seven Seas Explorer, and the tagline was pretty bold. We came out with the most luxurious ship ever built. And believe me, that was a big, you know, it's hard to live up to a tagline like that. But when the ship came out, and, you know, I'm sure, Carlos, you've been on, you can attest how amazingly beautiful it blew away everyone between just how beautifully appointed the ship is. They thought of every little detail, the artwork on board, the restaurants, the dining, everything about the ship was so well received. So now we have a second ship that we're going to have in the series. And what are we going to call that, right? So Seven Seas Splendor is the sister ship to Explorer. And again, these are ships that in a series, when we say they're sister ships, although they're sisters, they're not twins. And when Splendor came out in early 20, you know, right before the world went on its head, we were able to have guests come on board and check it out. And I know, Carlos, you had the opportunity to check out the Splendor. And what can you do when your tagline is the most luxurious ship ever built? Well, you come out with luxury perfected. And any little thing that we could make better on the ship, we did. Her color scheme is different. So as the dark, rich jewel tones on Explorer really make that ship so special, the light, airy, you know, kind of tones to almost a feminine feel on Splendor. So now the third comes around, and here we go. What are we gonna do with our third ship, Grandeur? Well, we're gonna talk about our heritage of perfection, because at the end of the day, we just want to live up to that, you know, tagline, which of course, you know, from being on board, truly is perfecting the luxury, and our heritage is the heritage of perfection. So there's the Compass Rose dining room. As you can see, something very different there. You know, we are always trying to strive for that next best. I didn't get a chance to really talk through the size of the ship. So for those of you who don't like a big ship, she's a 750 maximum capacity. And most of the time we scale that down. The guest to crew, for every one guest, for every one crew member, it's serving 1.38 guests. I don't know who that 38 guest is, but you know, it's kind of like you can get an idea of how many, you know, crew we have serving our guests on board. It's an amazing ratio. And the size of the ship, you know, you're not sailing with thousands of people. You're sailing with a couple of hundred people, and the service truly translates when you're sailing with that number of guests. You're not waiting for an elevator. You're not queuing up for pretty much anything. You know, it's the perfect size vessel. So as I, you know, talk about a heritage of perfection, we will really, if you can go to the next slide, do you have another picture of her? I'm not sure. Just to kind of give you the idea how beautiful. These are artist renditions because the ship is literally still being built. She will have her maiden voyage on the 18th of November, and she'll do Venice to Barcelona before heading across to the US, where she'll start a series of cruises out of Miami. If you go to the next slide, I think you'll see her itinerary is kind of hard to read, but you get the idea. She'll do a maiden voyage, and then she'll come across and do a round trip Miami, go through the Panama Canal, come back, do a series of round trip Miami. So anybody who's in Miami, you'll get an opportunity to just drive to the pier and be on the newest, most luxurious ship afloat. And then she'll head on back to Europe for the European season. So she's got some really great itineraries, and there's nothing like a new ship. I highly recommend it. And if you haven't got a chance to go check her out, she's got some amazing artist renditions that'll give you a feel for what she's all about.
I can't wait. And have you guys gotten a sneak peek on kind of the accommodation? Well, I guess, are there any differences in the accommodations? Anything?
Accommodations we've got down pat. I have to say, looking at that Regent suite though, every single one has a slightly different feel and look. And, as you know, we have the Picasso's art in the Regent suite, the $100,000 mattress, which, let me just tell you something, they spare no expense on any of the furnishings in the region.
For example, I know that one of the enhancements that you guys did from the Explorer to the Splendor, for example, is that your PH, correct me if I'm wrong, but your PH suites now have a walk-in closet, where the Splendor, I'm sorry, the Explorer, they didn't have a walk-in closet, right?
Yeah.
So like that was a great enhancement, something that you guys, definitely improved on the Splendor. I guess like everything on the Grandeur is going to look just like the Splendor then.
But again, different color scheme, almost like a Chanel kind of vibe on board. We've actually partnered with Fabergé, the famous art company, Eggs. I'm pretty sure you've heard of them, right? But the artwork on board will have that kind of a very different look. They're not just the eggs, they're jewelry. One of their spokespeople is Milia Kunez, and she has been doing some advertising with their beautiful jewelry collection. So it's a chance to partner art on board that's kind of a little different than what you've seen in the past. So I think you might really enjoy some of those new pieces on board.
Perfect. So, and I'm extremely excited. I mean, I can't wait. I know I'm gonna be, or I'm supposed to be on one of the shakedown cruises in Miami, sometime in December.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. We'll get you to check it out so you can tell everybody all about it. Yeah, we make sure we work out all the kinks with our best accounts so that you can flush the toilets and open the drawers and make sure everything's working before our full fare guests come on, because we want to make sure that we've got everything down pat.
Looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. And so when it comes to value, let's talk about value. Because obviously, I mean, the ships are incredible. The service is incredible. The destinations and the itineraries, everything is incredible, right? But then obviously, Regent, as well as most luxury cruise lines, but Regent in general, usually the price point is going to be a little, well, somewhat higher than. What's that? Oh, it's going to be higher than maybe some other premium cruise lines. And so can we talk a little bit about the value, and how does your value compare with some premium cruise lines? And I know that I have a slide here to make this a little bit more graphic.
Visual, yes. Once you put the numbers together, the numbers speak for themselves. You're a numbers guy, Carlos, and I will say that one of the ways I always describe Regent is, you get what you pay for, right? And I think that, overall, sticker shock sometimes is the other way to describe it, because people see the price point and they go, oh, wait a minute, I can't afford that. So we've put together these amazing value comparisons. I don't know if you can make that any bigger, or I got to put the glasses on. I think I got to put the glasses on here. And the idea that, when you're dollar for dollar comparing, this is the best way to know what the value represents. So what we do is we take a comparable sized suite in the premium market, okay? And we compare our price point, which as you can see in this example is $75.49 versus $35.91. So that's where the sticker shock comes in. People are like, whoa, I don't really want to double my, pricing to go on Regent. I think I'll just stick with premium. But what people don't understand is what we include in that $75.49. So right off the bat, airfare. And if any of you have been pricing out airfare lately, the airlines are making up for lost time when the pandemic was making it unable to travel. They're making up for those days, and they're really have some very expensive price points. So in this example, we're using the flights based on a round trip fare. I believe it's from Dallas. We usually do the middle of the United States to Vancouver and back from Anchorage. And believe it or not, that ticket in coach is about $1,146. Now, this is an example of Alaska, which is domestic flight. So we do not include the business class here. Only on our intercontinental flights do we offer that. And then, of course, when you get there, you've got to get yourself to the ship, especially in Anchorage, to get to where the ships are port in Seward. It's about a 45-minute to an hour ride. And so you have to add in your transfers. So you figure about $100 there. Shore excursions in Alaska are no joke. It's a seasonal place. They have to get top dollar for all of their excursions. And you truly want to do some of those excursions that are once in a lifetime. You really want to go and see Alaska and experience it, not just walk around the towns where the gift shops are. So to add your excursions, you're probably looking at almost $1,000, on a 7-night cruise. For those of you who've done, Alaska, you can attest that it is truly one of the most beautiful destinations, but at a price point for excursions that are probably a little higher than you probably expected. Wi-Fi, nobody can travel without Wi-Fi. Let's face it, you got to stay connected, and we include Wi-Fi in our price point. You probably going to spend at least $50. I think that's super low on that estimate because most people will correspond back home more than they think they will. Gratuities, as I mentioned before, we pay our staff well up front, so they're not looking for tips all the time, but you do have to tip on other cruise lines. For the purposes of this example, we're saying that people took the package with drinks included on the premium cruise line. So we're going to put that number in there. But when you talk about alternative dining venues, as I mentioned, our specialty dining is all included. You don't pay any extra, but on many of the premium lines, you will have to pay extra for all of the specialty restaurants that you dine in. And then, of course, you're going to talk about those silly government taxes and fees that are always just thrown on top, and they can really add up, as well as, the packages that you're going to put together for the beverages and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, that $35.91 adds up to about $65.27. So we're not that far off of a premium line. And the difference is you're selling with 700 guests on the 750 guests, on the Explorer versus thousands of guests on most of the premium lines. So that small difference really is, not a lot for the experience that you're going to have on Regent. So that's an example of the value. And I think a lot of times just walking through it like this, it makes sense, right?
Carol, I'm gonna make a confession, and I know that you're gonna kill me for this later, but I don't like this comparison because I'm gonna tell you why.
What?
I think I do believe that Regent is not for everybody. Regent is for people that appreciate luxury, that appreciate service, that appreciate those fine little details when it comes to travel. And while this slide, it makes it seem as it's more affordable than you think. I really think that this what you guys do in terms of delivery, just this slide doesn't make justice, because it's you might be comparing numbers, but at the end of the day, the delivery when it comes to service, that's the true difference. That's what makes the big difference about going on Regent, and people that understand luxury travel and that, that appreciate that will, won't doubt twice about, that little difference in the price tag. You know what I'm talking about? So
I do, but I also have been doing this for a really long time. And I think until you've experienced that, you're still hung up on the numbers, right? You're like, whoa, can't be that good. Why would I pay double, whatever? But they're not taking into consideration all of the things that you don't realize you're going to pay for in the end. And, we only get so much time to take vacation. Why would I want somebody to have to waste their time to figure that out for themselves when I could just put it in front of them black and white? And so many times I've seen that light bulb go off for people. You know what? You're right. I did spend all that money on excursions. I did have to pay those taxes and fees that I didn't know about. I didn't realize it's going to be $100 for that transfer to go to Seward. Yeah. So sometimes when you just kind of put it out there, people all of a sudden go, you know what? You're absolutely right. Yeah. I can do this. And then once they do it, there's no turning back.
No turning back. Yeah, I guess.
And I'll just add to that also, Carlos, because you bring up a good point. I mean, I think when you look at those numbers, it really doesn't speak about the experience. It's more of a value, speaks more of a value proposition that we have to offer. But you have to keep in mind that is everyone that's booking a premium cruise line going to sail with Regent? No, but a good amount of them that are booking those suites that come back from their cruise and say, cruising's gotten too big. They just don't feel special anymore or whatnot. Then if they're feeling that way, when they look at those numbers, they really are ready to evolve into luxury. And I think those comparisons are really what helps put it into perspective for a seasoned cruiser that may be booking those upper accommodations with the premium lines.
Yeah, I guess the point that I'm trying to make and kind of the message for everybody is, this slide that we're looking at is exactly that, right? It talks about the numbers, but there's so much more. I mean, this is just to get you there. But the truth is that the level of experience is it's a different story. So hopefully, we're getting that across to people the right way. Because you're right. Once you try this, you never go back because you realize that there's a completely different level of cruising. Great. So, I mean, I have another slide that I don't know. Do we have time? I guess we can take 2 more minutes to. Do you want to do the comparison with hotels? Do you think?
I think it's worth just at least, for people who haven't cruised. I don't want to offend our friend who owns hotels, Mr. Norlander, but just to kind of put it in perspective, a lot of people say I'm not a cruiser and I'm going to go on land, and they don't realize again how many extras they're going to, incorporate into the price that they see. All in all, luxury travelers who are saying that they're not cruisers, the pricing in luxury hotels has gone up dramatically. And Carlos, I know you guys sell everything over there with Forest, and I know that this year more than ever, people are looking for alternatives. Like, wait a second, I'm not going to pay $1,500 a night and stay in a hotel that's not going to include a morsel of food, any of my entertainment, any of my excursions. So that's the point we're trying to get across there, that even guests who are luxury hotel, guests are really starting to look to see the value of luxury cruising. And once they do, again, they realize this is great. I don't have to fly between cities. I don't have to worry about packing and unpacking. And I'm going to have this amazing experience, still offering luxury at a really great price. So that comparison we can also put up on your website, but just to give you some time to answer any questions we might have, I can kind of sum it up in saying we are the best value for luxury travelers.
No, absolutely. And we are gonna go to questions in just a second. But before we do that, I know that those that attended today's event are excited not to just hear about the new ship and the new itineraries, but also some of the good opportunities that we have for making some new bookings. And I know we'll have some great promotions that we want to share.
Yes.
Guys, I want to stress this out for those that already have. So when we put together these events and we do this, we create these sort of opportunities. We work with Regent One of the main reasons why we do this is so we can share information with you and open up a space to obviously ask questions and get some answers on what's going on with Regent. But also, obviously, us and Regent, we want to get you excited about a future cruise. The idea is, if you're thinking of another cruise, if you already have a cruise booked with Regent, that's amazing. And if you're thinking about doing another one or booking another one, or if you haven't booked one and you want to book one, then this is an opportunity to do so, because we create a special promotion specifically only for new bookings. Okay, so I do want to stress this out. Those that booked many months ago most likely got a very good price before the prices went up anyway. Okay, so those that booked a long time ago already have previous promotions. These are applicable to current pricing. They're not applicable to existing bookings. But if you're thinking about a new booking, a new cruise, then use this opportunity to go ahead and make that booking, because you're going to have some good savings. So let me pull that up. You want to talk about this, Carol? Oops.
I'm going to let Nicole go over all of it. You're sick of hearing my voice. Nicole will go over all the promotions that we have.
I'll be happy to do that. So we have quite a bit of wonderful promotions in the marketplace. Starting off with our spring into summer offer, which on several sailings in 2023, and there are a few in the first quarter of 2024 that are part of this promotion, we're offering up to a 40% savings on these voyages. So pretty significant. This offer is good through the end of the month. And there's everything from the majority of our Alaska itineraries are part of this promotion for this year. There's some great, for example, Canada, New England itineraries, even our round trip Tokyo itinerary during cherry blossom season for next year is actually part of this spring into summer promotion. So again, this is good through the end of the month. And then we also have, for those of you that want to opt out of the business class air and are okay with flying premium economy, we also have a wonderful flexible air offer where we're offering up to 40% savings as well for booking premium economy instead of the business class air component. I know that Carlos and I put some numbers together recently between these two promotions, and we found that if you have points, miles, and want to do your air independently, that the flexible air promotion, for the most part, is going to be the better value when booking cruise only versus the spring into summer offer. So a little fun fact there that actually Carlos brought to my attention. So thank you for that, Carlos. That goes to show you what a huge advocate he is for all of you and making sure that he is offering you the best possible pricing that there is available for us.
Well, we call those hacks. We found the hack.
Exactly.
That's why you guys are so good at what you do. You take the time to run the numbers.
He brought it to my attention. Yeah. So anyhow, then I did see some questions on the chat regarding solo travelers and special pricing. Well, I'm thrilled to share with all of you that we have. I've never seen this before. I got to be honest, Carol, you longer than I have. I don't know if you've seen.
Very rare that we do this, but I think it's a great opportunity for solo travelers.
Yes, where we're offering on select sailings 0%. You heard correctly, 0% single supplement on select categories on select sailings. So this is a wonderful promotion. We have some wonderful activities also for our solo travelers on board. You know, we have a social hostess that really gives her personalized special attention to our solo guests. So we get some great reviews from guests that are traveling as a solo with us. And now you have a great promotion to add to it as well. And then if you're looking to travel with your children, grandchildren on a special vacation this year, we have a wonderful offer for Alaska on select 2023 Alaska sailings. The kiddos sail for free as third and fourth. So wonderful offer. And that sail, kids sail for free promotion is actually combinable with the spring into summer promotion as well.
One thing to say about the kids, I think a lot of people get nervous, like, oh no, there's going to be a lot of kids. We only have capacity of about maybe 75, 100 for kids, like the maximum, because the third and fourth berth is what we're offering here for the kids sail free. So we're not going to be overrun with kids, but it is a great opportunity for you not to have to give up your luxury, bring the kids on board.
Good point, Carol. And I know we've had this promotion in place in the past, and we've never run into any issues on board where it jeopardizes, the onboard experience for other guests that are not traveling with the kiddos. I get it. I have a few of my own, and sometimes I don't want to travel with them either.
But then on the other hand, for those kids that do go on board, they have an amazing time. They pay. They're well treated. I mean, they're well taken care of.
Absolutely. I mean, for our Alaska sailings, we have a children's program, our Club Mariner. So it's organized on a smaller scale because, again, you don't see a lot of children sailing with us even to begin with. But the crew member, I mean, it's really special to see crew members interact with the kiddos, because keep in mind that they're on board these ships, months and months at a time, and their families are at home, their own children are at home. So when they see kids on board these ships, they really are giving them that special attention, making sure that they feel special.
And can we is it okay to talk about the special offer for new to Regent guests? Or can we just
well, that's something you're offering. Yeah, that's something that's
okay?
up to you. I mean,
Okay. So we for those that are new to Regent guests, there's I don't want to bore you with the details. Just let us know that you're interested. If you're new to Regent guest, there's some special incentives also that we have in place for you guys. So let us know, and we'll be happy to share some additional little incentives. We want to get you guys to try the product. The next time you go, you don't have that.
And the other opportunity is for those of you who have sailed on Regent, you can be an ambassador. You can recommend new guests to Regent, and we give you $250 off your cruise, and the new to Regent guest gets $250 as well. So Go out there and tell everybody about Regent, and we'll definitely be happy to offer you the $250 each time you tell us about a new guest to Regent, and you don't need to sail together. So go out there and tell everybody, and we'll take $250.
Yeah, just spread the word.
Yeah.
And this is the special offer for those that attended the event. Again, only applicable to new reservations. I want to stress that out because we love to make everybody happy, but those that booked before already got a very strong promo. Prices just went up. And they've been going up. So this is an incentive to get a new booking for Regent. And this incentive is a discount off of the cruise fare, which varies based on the length of your itinerary and the category that you're booking. So looking forward to getting you excited on hopefully that if you haven't booked a grandeur yet, on a grandeur itinerary or in any of Regent ships. They're all amazing. They all have their own personality, and definitely looking forward to get you guys to enjoy one of those again soon for those that have done it before. And we have a lot of questions that I want to make sure that we get to. So
yeah, 36 questions. Boy, you guys are interested. Let's hear.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm going to start from the top. So there's some that I'm going to just kind of go through very quickly because we might have already covered them throughout the presentation. So let's see. Max was welcoming David Lewis. David, thank you for joining us. It has not been decided, Nicole was sharing that it has not been decided yet if we will be opening up segments for 2026 World Cruise. Okay, that's a good point because we said that they might open up in July, but that's not a for sure thing, right? If the World Cruise sells out, then you just won't open up the segments.
We should know by July, yeah.
There was a question about accessible, do you accommodate for handicapped clients? Yes, absolutely. There are accessible suites and accommodations that, for the different needs. There are some suites, there are some people that want a bathtub, some people that don't want a bathtub. There's some people that actually just want an accessible suite. All of those options can be accommodated. And then Rosemary was asking, what are the core values that LCC and Regent Seven Seas share? I'm familiar with LCC's customer care philosophy to some extent as a valued customer. Dr. Gravel has been a client of ours for a long time. And thank you very much for, for bringing that up. And one of the reasons, and I'm going to say this because I think I guess my perspective on this is valuable, since I kind of, dealing so much with so many clients on, that sail on Regent. I know one of the most important values that they share with us is how client-centric they are, right? That, we as a luxury agency, for us, client comes first, all the time, right? We just, it's all about trying to make our clients happy. And I know that we share that philosophy with Regent all the time. And I know that, it's not always been easy. But I know for a fact that we share that point of view 100%. Would you guys agree? Carol, Nicole, you wanna...
Absolutely. And, again, working together, we really both understand that, your vacation time is so important. This is not a transactional business where you sell it to somebody and you're not going to see them again. It's not real estate. It's your vacation. It's your time. It's your experience that is so important to all of us.
And I just want to add to that, because one of the things I saw that question that also came to mind along the lines of what you're saying, Carlos, whenever any of your advisors are emailing me about a booking, they make it so they humanize, I think, their clients. They're giving me their stories, their background. And I feel like that personalized service that you give your clients goes hand in hand with the personalized service that we deliver on board our ships. So wanted to share that because that really did come to mind when I saw that question.
I agree. And I want to use that opportunity to explain a little bit more on that, because, we had a client once, I hope she's not in the event, because then I'm going to sound like I'm going to feel shy about saying this. But I know we had a client one day that told us that his wife will not drink milk that is will not drink long-lasting milk, that it has to be not long-lasting milk. And most ships, truthfully, when you ask for milk in your room, what you're going to get is long-lasting milk. And this is, the sort of things that you can expect, for a fact, the cruise line that will be able to accommodate those sort of requests, right? That's going to be Regent, right? That's going to be that cruise line that is going to realize that if you have a little, they're going to leave nuts in your room, right? And then, if you end up eating only the almonds and the mixed nuts that they leave in your room, then the next day you're going to realize that all you're going to get is almonds because they realize that's what you liked, and they're not going to, that's the sort of details that they go for. That's the level of personalization that you can rely on when it comes to Regent. So, I will go through all these questions, but I want to use this opportunity to ask you guys, because we get this question sometimes. Some new to LCC clients, some new to Luxury Cruise Connections clients might ask us, is there any reason to book direct with Regent? Like what would be the advantage of booking through Luxury Cruise Connections, or should I rather book directly with Regent? Can you answer that question for me in front of everybody else?
So I will say, first of all, you didn't mention your relationship with Virtuoso, which gives additional amenities that you would not get booking directly. So, we realize that, we have people that want to book directly with us. We have to have that opportunity. But once they start booking with your team and realizing all of the things, first of all, you guys are probably one of the top when it comes to really scrutinizing our offers. Like Nicole said, you'll do the math for people. You'll really dig deep. Our res agents are there because there are people who don't want to book with agencies, but they haven't found you guys yet, apparently. But as I said, the Virtuoso amenities are anywhere from $300 to $400 in shipboard credit, which we would not be able to offer directly. So I think that's number one, that you guys have more amenities to offer in addition to all the great service that you offer.
And then there are some of those covert offers that we have sometimes that we can't publish on our website, but that we can share on a one-on-one with our clients on the phone. So which are usually not available. Well, usually not, which are never available with your reservations team. Would anybody be able to get a better deal booking direct with Regent?
No, and if they do, they just let you know if there was something that someone missed in looking at different promotions, or if we made a mistake, we'll honor it and we'll transfer the booking right to you guys, no problem.
Thank you for that. Good timing for Denise to put up that question. Have you ever done business with Luxury Cruise Connections? Thank you. Wow, a good amount of you guys have 60-something% so far. I'll share the results in a second. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Warren, well, more of a comment. Warren was also mentioning that alcohol is included too. Correct. Mark Moser, how are you? Thank you for being with us. Do your specialty restaurants have curated wine lists for purchase?
Yes, absolutely. So, and at extremely good prices. So our pouring wines, of course, throughout the cruise will, have different pouring wines in different restaurants. But if you had a wine on Monday that you absolutely loved and you want to have it again on Friday in a different venue, we'll make sure that we get that for you. In addition, if you have a favorite wine that's not on our pouring list and it's on our connoisseur list, you will see it's at a very, very good price versus a restaurant.
Good point. Okay, cool. And Rosemary, Dr. Rivera was asking, perhaps Nicole can answer for Regent and Carlos can answer for LHC. Yep, of course. And hopefully you'll see the recording, and if not, we'll touch base later for sure. John was commenting, valet services included as well. Just answered, thank you. Okay, all-inclusive laundry is brilliant. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Roger sent me a question that I'm not sure. He was asking me, was Regent originally Radisson?
Yes, as a matter of fact, that's how we started. If you really go back in time, it was two ships, and the Radisson Diamond was that really unique catamaran style ship. So you go back a long way with us, and unfortunately we don't have, or fortunately, we don't have that ship in our fleet anymore. But yes, that is where we started. Seven Seas was the Song of Flower, and the Diamond was Radisson, came together, Radisson Seven Seas, and then eventually Regent Seven Seas.
That's cool. Thank you. And Laura was asking us, I'm new to Regent as a Crystal Cruiser. I know there was a dress code. Is it the same for Regent?
We do have a dress code. It's probably more lax in today's environment. You're going to see people not wanting to bring the mother of the bride gown and every piece of jewelry they've ever owned on a cruise now. But we do still have, certain restrictions for the dining room, no jeans, no shorts, things like that. And for the most part, I think the world has become a bit more casual, but we do still have guidelines. If you do want to have that formal type experience on our longer cruises, we do have some formal.
Okay, thank you for that. And we have the results on the poll, so 50%.
Oh, wow, 50-50.
Look at that, right
That's
in the
cool.
middle. Right in the middle. All right, cool. So for those that haven't done business with us before, just short little thing. For those that have done business with us before, hopefully you have had a really good experience and you can endorse us whenever you get a chance. But for those that haven't, know that what we are is an extremely client-centric luxury cruise agency. We focus on helping our guests plan the most amazing trips. We partner, as you can see, with Regent Seven Seas on making sure that your experience goes perfectly. We do take care of our clients on a personalized basis. We don't have just a call center. So we love creating long-term relationships. Excuse me. And we do have an amazing team of concierge advisors and managers that work in the back end to help our guests plan their flights and their transfers and their excursions and everything else that goes around booking the cruise. And so hopefully we can convert that other 50% that hasn't done business with us before, and hopefully have an opportunity to get you to try us. And I'm sure you'll love it. So thank you. And And then Dr. Gravel, she had to return to work. She says, meet all of you and learn more about Regent Seven Seas, and thank you, LCC, for your customer care. Thank you, Dr. Gravel. We definitely look forward to helping you plan many more cruises in the future. Steve Kravitz. So he was asking me on a direct message if this is being recorded. And yes, we are going to be sending this recording to all of you guys after today's event. So by tomorrow, you're going to be receiving an email with a follow-up email with the recording of this event, which, by the way, you can share with your friends and family as well. Remember that referral program. You can take advantage of that. You can get them excited and then watching this, hopefully this event. And then will segments be available? Okay, we got that question out of the way. On the longer trips, does the restaurant, all eateries change depending on different destinations, or are they pretty much standardized?
No, really, the good question is that, yes, we do like to source locally, and we do have the opportunity in different places to get some really exciting local foods on board. So yeah, that does change throughout our destinations. Yeah.
Okay, and are your ships typically sailing at capacity similar to mainstream cruise market?
Well, that question is so interesting because, now that we're full force with all of our ships in the water, yeah, we're really starting to see full capacity. But remember, maximum capacity on a Regent Seven Seas cruise is never going to be more than 750 guests. So at the most, you're sailing with 750 guests.
And even if sailing at full capacity, the space to guest ratio on our Regent Seven Seas is going to be tremendously much more than what you would find on mainstream cruise line. So even at full capacity, you just don't feel the ship being that full, right? Am I right?
Yes.
Real here. What is your Wi-Fi service? I have not had reasonable internet, even on luxury lines, which prevents me from considering longer cruises.
So that's actually new, Carol. That's something, when you think about the grandeur, something exciting that's going to be introduced with the grandeur is a Starlink satellite. So I know, yeah. So I can feel everybody clapping over there. Yes. But yeah, so we're aware, and we want to make sure that we deliver nothing but the best for our guests. So we have partnered up with Starlink, and we'll be rolling that out on board all of our ships here soon, starting off with the Grandeur. So when the Grandure's maiden voyage in November set sail, she will have Starlink already.
I'm gonna say the following. Your sister company, Oceana, just launched another ship recently, also with Starlink. We have one of our team members on board that ship, and he was actually logging into our Zoom calls every morning using that Starlink service, and it was perfect. So like you can literally have, this bandwidth, to have a Zoom conversation with people with video, and like it was great. So very much looking forward to that. So I think
it's a big investment because you guys know, a cruise ship is not like sitting in your house or office where, you're constantly hitting the same signal, right? Ships are moving. So that's a consideration with, Wi-Fi. But I will say this investment has really paid off. We've heard the same, Carlos, that people say Starlink is the best. So we want the best for our guests.
Very, very cool. And then Jennifer was asking about single cruiser rate. We addressed that. Right now, Regent is running those single 0% single supplement on certain itineraries, not on all of them, but on a few of them, especially for 2023 and Q1 for 24, correct? There's few options there. So like Nicole said, I've never seen that before, and I think it's a great opportunity for those single cruisers to make your booking. Spending even more on excursions in Alaska this summer on week-long cruise. I think Sarah was commenting on when we're doing the comparison pricing, that excursions in Alaska this summer is actually a lot more expensive than what you were putting on that slide. There are dollar sign to do one day. I can confirm that. Other estimate also probably on the low side. Yeah. I do agree, Sarah. I think that comparison slide has, it's comparing with like very, very conservative comparison there with another premium cruise line. So, okay, and Shamun is also commenting on how great the comparison is. That's great.
We have that on our website, and definitely you guys have it. You can send for the different itineraries, not just Alaska.
What premium cruise line are you using to do the comparison?
On that particular one, I want to say it was Celebrity, but I would say we take a look at all of them and we average it out. So it's not just this ship, this date. We take an average of all of the different premium lines and what they offer. So, it's not an exact this to that, but I know that they're usually the number one that, we find to be most easy to compare to.
And Sarah also commenting, agree, cost sneak up. And I like the chart. I also like that it is a conservative comparison, feels honest. I agree. Jim Masters, how is decision made to include excursions as part of the cruise cost or extra charge? It's a good question.
I'm sorry, what is the question?
So basically the question is, how do you decide, because you have all these you have unlimited included shore excursions, right? But there are some optional excursions that come at a small additional price.
Gotcha.
I know that your included excursion is already quite small in size in terms of how many people, but if you want an even smaller group, there's a little upcharge for a even smaller group for that excursion, or there are some other particular excursions that might have an additional optional cost. So was a decision made on which ones to include and which ones not to?
Carol, you want me to take this one? I can take it. Because I was doing some comparisons recently, and what I found was that the shore excursions that are a little bit more exclusive and that the land operators are not giving us a lot of space on are typically the ones that there's an upcharge for. Helicopter rides over a glacier in Alaska, that it's impossible for us to offer that to a good amount of guests, sailing on our Alaska cruises, there's going to be an upcharge for those. But the whale watching tours, that would typically be an included shore excursion. But then we also have, to your point, Carlos, the small group tour options, that there's also a nominal fee for those. So if you want to be guaranteed with no more than 16 guests on a shore excursion, you're probably better off going with our small group option. And there's a small nominal fee for that. But again, you're paying for the option of being with no more than 16 guests. Keep in mind, on a typical included shore excursion, I've never seen it where we fill a motor coach. Carol, I don't know if you've seen that. If it's happens to include a motor coach tour, a typical motor coach holds 45, 50. I've never seen more than 30 on that motor coach, and that's on the larger side. But again, if you want to be, have a little bit more of an intimate experience, then maybe those small group tour options are for you.
Okay. That makes sense. And okay, and if you want me to go deeper in into that question, Jim, let me know. Be happy to bring it back up. Okay. Hopefully with answer what you were hoping to get answered. And Ruji is asking, is it possible to upgrade their air on domestic flights?
Yeah, we have a custom air department, and you can work with them to decide whether you want to upgrade. If it's available on that, itinerary, we'll let you know what the upcharge would be.
Thank you. Amy Rady, can we see the luxury suites? Amy, I guess you were talking about the grandeur. Carol, Nicole, do you guys have some images on the suites by any chance?
I have one. Yeah, let me share my screen really quick. That's okay. Hold on a moment. Can you see that? Let's see how I can get it from. Hold on a moment. Kind of want to get it to the current slide so you can see it a little bit without going backwards. Hold on a second. Well, hold on a second. I'm sorry. You see my screen, everyone?
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. I wanted to show you just some, images of some of the suites on board the Seven Seas Grandeur, and I just lost it here. Hold on a moment. That will be what I'm sorry, I can't figure out how to put it on the current slide. Let's see here. This will give me the option. There we go. There we go. There we go. So keep in mind that this is a sister ship to the Explorer and Splendor, but I just wanted to give you an idea of, for example, in this case, what our penthouse suites are going to look like on the newest ship, the Grandeur. So this is about 450 square feet. Very popular accommodation among our guests in this class of ship because of those partitions. So you have the bedroom separated from the living area, so it's very conducive to folks that perhaps one likes to sleep in, the other one's an early riser. It suits, something like that. This particular accommodation has an oversized shower, beautiful walk-in closet. But to Carlos's point, on the Splendor and the Grandeur, the walk-in closet is just slightly larger, almost double the size on those two ships. So that's an example of the Grandeur's penthouse suite. And then what the deluxe veranda suite is going to look like on the Grandeur. And again, the only difference here that you're going to see on board the Grandeur versus the deluxe veranda suites on the Splendor and the Explorer, for example, is the color scheme. So this particular accommodation is about 350 square feet. The picture really does not do it justice, and you can't tell from this image, but the bed is actually facing the veranda. So this is a new design layout that we introduced with the Seven Seas Explorer that was that our guests really, really enjoyed. This particular accommodation also has, a nice spacious walk-in closet, a beautifully appointed bathroom with double sink, a standalone shower with a separate tub. So very comfortable accommodation. Trying to see what other, but yeah, hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the suites on board our ships. I'll stop sharing.
Remembering that the ship nobody has ever, like, these are all renderings because nobody has ever actually, the ship's not out yet. It's going to be out by November. And it's expected to be out on time, by the way, which is refreshing news post-COVID world. But if you want to get an idea of what those suites look like, so we can also take a look at what the Splendor suite, the different suites on board Splendor look like, and just you can kind of imagine what they're going to look like with the new color scheme. Janice is commenting that you should compare. You should do the comparison with the likes of Seabourn, Silver Sea, etc., and not ships with over 2,000. And I think it's an interesting comment. I think
we do have that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the slide particularly was to kind of show the value compared to the great value that a Regent experience can offer compared to the premium cruise lines. But since she brought up the comment, maybe you might not have the slide with you, but how do you compare in terms of pricing with these with the other luxury lines, with the competitors?
Well, again, itinerary wise, size of the suites, all of that is laid out. And, to really take it in a general statement, we are the most inclusive, and I think that when people see pricing, make sure you're comparing apples to apples, because there is a major difference with all of the inclusions versus some of the inclusions, or a limited number of choices, for example, on the inclusions. So just, again, for us to do that homework on every single line, it would take us a lot, but for you guys to do it, you certainly can, put it side by side if you're comparing a specific date, cruise line, etc.
No, I mean, there's definitely a lot more than price. Like when you get to that level of cruising, there's a lot more than pricing that you want to look at, right? I think that each cruise line has its own value proposition, and it appeals better to certain clientele, more than others. And I think that Regent just has an incredible offering for a very wide population of the luxury cruiser. And then you can rely on our advisors to help you navigate the complexity of that comparison and help, understand. So what we specialize, we're very knowledgeable of the product, but we'd like to say that we're even more knowledgeable on you. right? We want to get to know you, understand you as a guest, as a traveler, and then that we can advise properly. We can get you on the right cruise and the right product. And Mark was asking, are you signing on the trend of docking for a night on or two on in popular ports?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I just wanted to give just some examples because I saw that question come up as well. And we, I would say it's a mix where we tend to be very port intensive. Carol, wouldn't you agree? But at the same time, we overnight in ports that you would want to overnight in, like Reykjavik or Oslo, Amsterdam, Bordeaux, the Seychelles. So all the places that you would think I want to spend a little bit more time, I find that we typically do overnight for the most part in those ports.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think Mark, what Mark is referring to is there is a trend on generally in the cruise industry of cruise lines wanting to extend their stays in some ports. And I am noticing a little bit more of that with Regent also in the newer itineraries. So I do think that you guys are kind of staying on track with the trends of the industry in terms of allowing your guests to enjoy the destination. You got to realize that for a luxury cruise line, it is cheaper to have you off the ship than on the ship. So because everything's included, right? So like from a business perspective, you guys want people off the ship. So definitely have zero incentive to get you back on the ship and
Well, except for the fact that we include the excursion. So now we're doubling up on excursion prices. So it's not really a cost savings. I just think some ports are doable in a day and certain ports require longer stays.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the port, sometimes people just romanticize about a particular port and they're like done in an hour and a half. And then other places they're like, oh, I really wish we could have stayed here longer. So it really does depend on the destination.
And then we had Sarah was commenting celebrity retreat in Seabourn. I'm not exactly sure what you were referring to, but if you want me to go back to that comment,
that was just from my experience. I'm new to cruising this year, but I've been on 3. I'm only 37 and I'm in love. So, but those are the 2 that I've done. And I said, from my experience and what I booked this summer, I think your chart is very conservative. So that's all I was saying. I thought I was one that said it felt honest. So I appreciate that.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. You should talk to a lot of more of your friends or 37-year-old friends to make sure they start cruising early because
I'm trying. I already got one to go with me. We went as singles. It was so much fun.
Thank you for joining us, by the way, Sarah. And then Diane was asking, do the ships have larger tables in compass rows, seating 6 or 8 people?
Yes.
And Jennifer had to go back to work. And is there a cruise from Spain, Gibraltar, Portugal, Canary Islands, Morocco, Tangier, like last year?
Check out the April 6th sailing next year on the Voyager. It's a 10-night Lisbon to Barcelona itinerary that goes to the majority of the places that you're interested in. So again, that's the Voyager, April 6th of next year, and it's a 10-night Lisbon to Barcelona itinerary.
And Gary, know that one of our advisors is going to get a hold of you very soon, hopefully, to help you find that exact itinerary that you're looking for. Mark was commenting, you do a great job. Hopefully, I know you're probably referring to Regent, but maybe also about us, hopefully. Thank you, Mark, for your loyalty. And Anne Upton, it says, I agree, LCC, Derek, has been extremely helpful and responsive. Go, Derek. Thank you very much for making Anne happy. And thank you very much for your loyalty as well. I'm booked on Regent for January 2024. I want you to take care of me. Can I transfer my reservation to you? Carol, can you talk about the transfer policy real quick?
Yeah, as long as you're not paid in full, you can transfer a booking to a different agency. There's a form we'll send you, you'll fill it out and transfer it over LCC.
Thank you. Anything changes when the reservation gets transferred? Just
no, just like I said, make sure you're not paid in full.
That's it. Thank you very much. Okay, good. So, yep, we'll be happy to take care of you. And Roger was asking, Radisson was started in MPLS by Port Carlson, who started gold bonus stamps. Radisson hotels are now around the world. Does cruising on Radisson count as cruising on Regent? I cruised on Radisson long ago. Roger, I think that if you only cruise on Radisson and you have never cruised with Regent, I think we could consider you a new to Regent guest. Yeah, is that fair?
We have to see if we have a profile on him as a past guest or not. We could easily
Really?
look him up.
Those profiles go that all the way back.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So we'll
Check it out. We'll check
for
you out.
All right. So Jim had to go, but we'll send this recording to you for sure. He's looking forward to his first Regent cruise next February. That's amazing. Amy, how many ships does Regent have in the organization? How many ships do we have right now? We're up to 7.
So
Right.
we're at 5.
Sorry.
We're at 5 right now, and then we're gonna introduce the Grandeur, making it 6.
There you go. Am I thinking there's going to be a 7th, or?
I'm thinking, yeah, we are definitely in talks, and these things don't happen overnight. So we'll take a little while and plunk the money down and get another ship going, I'm sure.
And Anne was commenting, hope Regent reconsider sending all their cruise documents versus us having to print or try and save to our phones. What do we have to say about that? Some clients do want their printed documents.
Yeah, I mean, if push comes to shove and you absolutely want it, but you know what, in today's environment, remember we used to carry around airline tickets that you could easily lose. Trying to be more eco-friendly, everyone has that on their agenda. So, we probably are the last of all of the companies. We tested it out in Europe, and the overwhelming response was it's just so much easier. And, again, we do still send luggage tags. Everything is, easily accessed on the apps and the phone. And, again, but if it's absolutely that important to you and you really want it, we're never going to deny anybody being happy with paper. If they want, have it, sent to them, we could do that. But it is kind of the wave of the future. Like anything, sometimes change is hard, but it's necessary.
Thank you. And Mindy was, and Laura, thank you for sharing that website. So I'm sorry, she shared it privately. But what we'll do is we'll send out, together with our email follow-up for this presentation, we'll send out some more pictures on the Grandeur and the suites and everything that we can, so that you can see much more information about the Grandeur, because I know you guys all got very excited about it. Mindy, thank you very much for the opportunity to be part of this webinar. It sounds like an amazing cruise line. I've learned quite a bit, and hopefully we'll have the opportunity to book this one day soon. Have to run, no problem. Mark, great, thanks. David, I agree with Carlos. You get what you pay for. Regent is first class. Thank you, Louis, for that endorsement to Regent. Very helpful. What a phone call in board. What a phone call in board, but not via WhatsApp. Johnny, I'm not sure I understand what you mean, but I think you mean you're talking about getting phone calls that are not via WhatsApp while you're on board. Maybe you can clarify that question for me. I'll be happy to address it. And then another private question that I got, does Regent have an app? Can I find one? Is there an app right now? No, right?
We are working on it. Should be kicked off by the end of the year, beginning of next. We do have one for our shore excursions when you're on board, but an app that's being created for everything else is in the works.
That's great. That's great. Okay, I ran out of my questions on the chat, but does anybody have any questions that maybe you want to unmute yourself? Look, we don't get Carol on the Zoom calls all the time, so this is an honor. And so Nicole,
My
I talk to her
pleasure.
almost every day, but
My pleasure. And it's so wonderful to, see people who are so excited about cruising, and we'd love to have you. And as I said, doing business with you guys is always a pleasure. So please keep the questions coming. Let us know if there's anything else we can do. And you don't have to think about it right now, but if something comes up later on when you're making dinner or something, just reach out and we'll happily get back to you.
guys, like I was sharing before, we're extremely client-centric and we're true to our values. And when we say that we are here to help people plan their trips, even if you're already fully paid, even if we're not making commission on your booking, but you have a question, there's something that you need any guidance on, we'll be happy to help. We're all about building long-term relationships. So just count on us. We're here for you. For those that, again, if you booked with us, amazing. If you haven't booked with us, and it's an opportunity for us to get to know each other even better. But even if we are not making commission on your booking, it's okay. We still want to help you because that's us being true to our values. Jen is asking info on Reykjavik. I guess you want to go to Iceland.
We offer it.
Janice, do you want to unmute yourself real quick? Want to let me know a little bit more what you're looking for?
I did check the website, but it wasn't taking me to Reykjavik at all. So maybe I was doing the wrong thing.
We do offer several Reykjavik, so we can send you the links.
Including round trip Reykjavik itineraries. So yeah, Carlos, if you want to assign an advisor to Janice, and if they need any assistance in sorting that out, I'm happy to help.
Yeah, and Janice, I'll be contacting you. This is Steve Golko, so
Hi, Steve.
we'll get the best for you. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
That's on my bucket list too, Janice. That's definitely a place that I want to go check out.
So we'll all go with Carol.
Reykjavik.
Beautiful. We'll make sure we take good care of you, Janice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining for sure. Amy, now that you have this policy about kids free, are you seeing an increase on children in your reservation?
As I said, these ships really can only accommodate triple and quad in a very small number. But when we have the kids program, absolutely, we see, people who are looking to take the kids but don't want to pay full price for them. For sure, we see an uptick. But as I said, never feel like it's going to be overrun with kids because we only have certain accommodations that can accommodate the triple and the quad accommodations.
Good. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Amy, by the way, again, thank you so much for joining us. I know you've been doing business with us for some time, so we appreciate your loyalty as well. And happy to follow up on that question with you later on as well. And Johnny, you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, hi, thank you. No, I was asking you regarding the phone calls, is a regular phone call, and I know probably will be attached to individual carriers, but if we need to make a phone call, not using WhatsApp, there is a possibility or not?
If you have an international plan, for example, on your cell
Right.
phone, I use my phone all the time on the ship.
Okay, and texting as well?
Yeah, and texting as well. Again, depends on the carrier and the plan you have set up, but it does.
Right.
Work. Yeah.
Okay, no, because I'm a physician and sometimes I need to keep communicating, that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you for joining, Johnny. We got a comment here from Ruji. I'm so excited to travel on Regent. It's a shame you don't have one for this December. I had to book I had to go on Celebrity because there wasn't what he was looking for in December, but hopefully we can take good care of you, Ruji, and get you on a Regent cruise very soon. I know you're working with Natalie, so thank you very much for the opportunity. We're going to take really good care of you. So thank you for that. And I'm getting some internal messages here. So for those looking for Reykjavik, August 31st, 2023, 12 nights, Reykjavik to Copenhagen. has a really good offer, one of those covert offers where we can get additional savings for you.
I was looking at that one too.
Yep, and that's on the Splendor, and then the Voyager is doing Reykjavik to Southampton also on August 12th. So 14-nighter. Also, we have a very good covert discount on that one as well. Yeah. So look at that. That one on the Splendor, brand new ship. Well, it's still going to be the newest ship by August, right? It's beautiful, beautiful ship. So that's definitely a great opportunity. Okay. So Regent still has some space for 2023. Not a lot. There's some pockets of itineraries where we can still find some availability, right? And that those are the dates where we can find the stronger offers right now. So if you guys haven't planned your 2023 yet, or at least not in full, and you have some little, couple of months here and there where you want to, squeeze in a Regent sailing, this is definitely a good time to plan it, because there are some good offers on for that last minute availability. Again, all the way until Q1 of 2024. So, all right. Well, I've taken a lot of your time. Do we have any more questions? Anybody else wants to say anything? Maybe anybody else that has sailed on Regent before that wants to share 2 seconds of their experience? For all of you guys that are Regent past guests, anybody else wants to maybe unmute for a second and tell us how was your experience on Regent?
Yes, Carlos, can I speak?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. I just want to repeat, because there's so many people that joined us. I have nothing to do with Regent or with the Carlos agency, but I can tell you this. I'm a hotel owner for almost 50 years in Mexico, in the Pacific, beachfront properties. And I can tell you, during all these years of work, I found out that Carlos agency, it is one of the best that I ever work with. So I seen my wife hours, weeks, looking for traveling and this and that. Carlos agency and its personnel are perfect. They will get to know you. I will satisfy you, get you the best prices, the best discounts, You forget about it. You're just as relaxed as in Regent. And then the last thing I like to say to all the newcomers in this chat is that once you travel in Regent, you had it, because none other line will satisfy you again ever. So that's my experience I can honestly give you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And just so that our audience can hear this, who's the advisor that takes care of you here at our agency?
Excuse me?
Who's the advisor that takes care of you? Just so that our audience can hear it.
I can advise your agency.
No, I just wanted you to say that Laura takes good care of you.
I didn't understand.
I don't know.
I didn't understand you, Carlos.
I was just saying that I just wanted you to mention Laura as well, because Laura is the
Oh,
one.
Laura, yes.
Oh, Laura,
Oh,
of course.
She's
She's
the best.
All I do is show up, but Laura is the one that actually does the work.
Yeah.
No, Laura has told me.
Laura Bowman.
Laura Bowman has told me. I mean, that employee that you have is absolutely the best I ever had in my 50 years of being in the business.
She is a wonderful travel agent.
The one who speaks
advisor.
is my wife, who's right next to me. Okay, so
Well,
hey,
Thank you so much. She's
thank
family.
you again. Thank you.
She's not just an employee, she's family. And thank you so much for that endorsement. And just like Laura, I'm seeing amazing comments. We saw an amazing endorsement for Derek also just a few minutes ago in our chat. And Amy, you're with us. Do you mind unmuting yourself for a second?
I did. Okay. We started traveling last June, and Javier is our travel agent. And we took an incredible cruise with his recommendation in June. And then we went on another wonderful cruise in October. And we're counting down in 2 weeks. We're going on another cruise as a result of Javier and our search. So we have cruises booked through the end of 2024.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Amy, thank you
That's
very
it. Always have something to look forward to.
much.
Absolutely. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you,
thank
Amy.
you.
Forward to helping with many more cruises in the future. Amazing. All right. Anybody else wants to share their experience? Would love to hear about it. No? Well, if we've covered all the questions and we've covered all the bases, then I think I'm gonna let Carol and Nicole go. What do you guys think? Yeah, we're ready. I promise that we're gonna send like we said, we're gonna send a recording of today's presentation. And those of you that are looking to get connected with one of our advisors, please feel free to just reply back to the email invitation that we sent, or send us an email to info@luxurycruiseconnections.com or one to me directly at carlos@luxurycruiseconnections.com. We look forward to helping you plan your next cruise, and very much happy to introduce you to, again, one of our advisors, one of our team members, and I think somebody's sharing their screen, which is, there you go. Thank you very much. But like I was saying, I want to thank Carol and Nicole so much for coming to today's event. I know that you guys are very busy people, and I know that you guys got to be out there taking care of a lot of travel advisors and a lot of travel agencies. But I do want you to know how much you appreciate the time, and your effort in making us look good, right? And in participating in today's event, and sharing all this information with our guests and future guests and existing clients, and we look forward to continuing to grow the relationship, because every time that we do so, we get repeat guests and we get people coming back for more and more and more. We truly appreciate the partnership, and cheers to a successful rest of 2023 and 2024.
Thanks, Carlos. And again, our pleasure. If there's anything else we can do, just let us know.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.